DMR loadout. Going to be interesting to see. I bet this is the first time these young guns on status quo have ever played against Ogre 1.
Yeah, and it's interesting also to note that I'm seeing more and more throughout the tournament that people chose a couple different loadouts, and now I'm starting to see everyone choosing the DMR jetpack loadout.
Right, it's definitely the most popular so far, and I think most would argue that it's kind of the most versatile. It gives you the most, you can fight with the DMR close range, of course. It takes a lot more skill, and of course that jetpack is going to give you tons of options, whereas something like a hologram or another armor ability.
Like thrusters or something. Like thrusters are useful, but not as versatile as the jetpack.
Yeah, we've talked about they're kind of situational. They're certainly in certain given situations, they will be very useful and they'll get you out of trouble. However, overall, the jetpack seems to be the go-to armor ability.
See, Flamesword for status quo right now has the beam rifle. He's sitting down on the other side of the map trying to get some shots off. Heff is putting in a one-on-one against Snakebite.
And now Ogre 1 now sprinting up top middle. Something we've talked about throughout the entire tournament. Teams are kind of slowly leaning towards getting control of top middle. Before it was only the alleyways and the ramps, but now they're going top middle. Nice job, Snakebite there, using that jetpack DMR to take out Ogre 1.
Yeah, see, I noticed the top mid strategy earlier against teams, but I couldn't tell if the team was just really good and they could do it because the enemy team couldn't stop them.
Right.
But now that we're seeing, good teams, I'm curious to see if that strat will continue.
Yeah, definitely have to take a look as this match progresses. But Immunity up 110 to 30 over status quo. A huge start there, but Snakebite definitely keeping his team in this match.
Ogre 1 picking up an easy kill there. This guy didn't even see him. Ogre 1 putting nades off now in a one-on-one battle against Snakebite.
And excuse me, those colors are a little bit mixed up on your screen. We actually have status quo in the lead, 140 to 60, as you see on Voltage's screen. Their team is the red team, so excuse me for that. Now Benno picking up that beam rifle. We're going to stay on board with him, see if he can put that to use. We're seeing a lot of players using that ramp, actually all the ramps all around the map, to really just play these angles. Take a look. He can just show a little bit of his body. He get a nice kill there, and look, using this glass as well. You can see through that glass, but cannot be shot through that glass unbreakable.
Yeah, I mean, the nades are the only problem with being in that spot, but that's really one of the best spots you can be in with the sniper.
Yeah, we even saw some players sitting on the back staircases, and when they want to come up, they'll jetpack up to get an angle on top middle, and then retreat down. So interesting how the jetpack plays into use of the ramps. If you think about a map like Lockout, of course, ramps are very popular on that map. There's a certain element of strategy. Look at that Snakebite sitting up there on that ledge for a second with the jetpack, and that's the third time I've seen Snakebite outshoot one of the Immunity players.
Benno picks up a double kill, and that gets him his personal ordnance drops. He chooses to go with the railgun, which is a great gun that we haven't seen that much gameplay with, so let's see if we can pick up some easy kills.
Yeah, look at Snakebite here with the overshield. He picks up another kill. Snakebite really doing well for his team. They're now up 220 to 150.
Yeah, of course, Immunity did lose that railgun. So let's see if status quo is able to pick that up.
Yeah, always a fun gun to watch. Similar timing, somewhat to the bolt shot, as you have to really charge it up and know exactly where your enemy is. You never really want to charge it up coming around the corner unless you know someone's going to be there. Benno doing a nice job. The jetpack can stay on level 2, but Flamesword read him like a book. Nice job. They knew exactly where he was going with that jetpack.
Now, all the action is happening in that middle ramp because I saw the sword was down there, the railgun was down there, and of course everybody's just nading and shooting over there. So I think that's going to be the strategy and the focal point of this entire match. Yeah,
definitely people fighting down these hallways as you see right now. Voltage and Benno moving across on Voltage with a nice flank, putting shots into Royal 2, who does have that overshield, but he has help. Oh, a nice grenade there from Royal 2. And he takes him out.
Voltage chooses to go with the overshield. Gonna move up top now.
And I like that overshield choice on Breakable. When he moves up, if you have your team in the right position, you can really collapse on the enemy team once, if not twice, if you consistently push. And that overshield player has to really be in position to move in at all times.
Go for the return. Now, I've noticed though the overshield is very situational, as you said, but sometimes people waste it because I noticed they pick it up and then they go into a battle against 3 of the enemy players and it drops instantly, and it was completely pointless. I'm like, why didn't you get the saw or the railgun instead? Oh, sure, that is a great point. The saw is a weapon that if you don't maybe get a few kills with, maybe even your teammate can pick up, or it does have a long lifespan, if you will, in terms of the individual game. Whereas the overshield, of course, if you're shot enough times, will be gone. So it's certainly a situational. You're going to have to know when to call it in, and of course, then when to use it. But if you do need to push, for example, your team is down by a few kills, it's a tough choice. Do you go with the power weapon or the power up? Yeah, and we were talking with some of the 343 guys yesterday, and they're saying it actually, instantly recharges your shield, so you can be like in a one-on-one battle and losing and called in and try and pick it up. They said it's really hard to do but that'll give you a huge advantage in something like that.
Yeah, one thing that I was able to do was call in the overshield around top middle on this map, and as 3 players were pushing up one of the ramps right around where Voltage is right now, I called it in top middle, they were pushing, and you can actually pick it up as they're all shooting you, and there is a very tiny, most of the window of invincibility for that overshield has been removed, but there is a very tiny period. For example, if you get hit with a grenade or melee, that you will be invincible, so you can actually bait opponents in with that thing and easily pick up an overkill.
Definitely. A lot of options there. As you see Voltage nading down towards that man cannon. He's going to stay up top. He has teammates on the bottom. He's going to move up towards that storm rifle. Takes down, Heff takes down Will too.
Oh my heavens, you just saw Benno from Immunity get destroyed by Flamesword, who was using the beam rifle. And now we are jumping on board with Enable and Royal 2 of Status Quo. They're up 370 to 290. And what we've seen Unbreakable so far on Haven is if you just control the midpoint of the match, rarely do you see teams losing. And I think that really will create this super tense situation at the beginning of the game where you have to know exactly what your team's doing and the enemy team's doing, because you can't let anyone get a huge lead on you.
Yeah, and I feel like Immunity, I mean, it doesn't seem like that much more to 20 now to 300, but really, it's really hard to, to come back on a match that's this fast-paced. So we'll see if Immunity can carry through to the end.
Right, we have not seen many standoffs at all. There have been slow points in these Haven games, but because there's a bottom middle, a top middle, 2 lifts, and so many different hallways, it's pretty easy to sneak around an enemy team. But I have a feeling, because the map is symmetrical, that eventually there may be a certain setup that is used, and you're able to trap them. But we certainly haven't hit that point yet in the game's lifespan.
Enable doing work with the VR. He pulls in the sniper rifle, though. What a great ordnance for him.
Right, and right there he has Voltage weak, but he has 2 players pushing in on him. Euphorics and I were talking about it. There seems to be a curse of the ordnance. Whenever a player calls in the ordnance, they seem to die almost immediately.
I know.
Perhaps they get a little bit confident, but we'll have to see if that continues throughout the tournament.
I have noticed that a lot, too. That's weird.
And now Royal 2 cleaning up this kill on Voltage, and his team's up 510 to 350, doing very well, and also using the jetpack very well to stay alive there, and he pushes down the hallway. Take a look at that. Definitely would have been taken out if he didn't have help up top, but instead retreats to safety with his team, and then gets eventually backsmacked, but his team is up by quite a few.
Royal 2 going shots on Benno, takes him down, and he backs off. He gets his own ordnance. Pulling the grab hammer. Oh, I just want to see the grab hammer.
Yeah, it calls in the overshield, so I guess at this point in the game, really all they need is one more push. They have 6 kills remaining before they hit that 600-point mark. And it's Ogre 1 versus Royal 2 overshield battle. And looks like nice job right there, getting
I think both of them kind of took off the overshields and then ran away.
Yeah, getting denied by the pulse grenade. Interesting to see that used as well. Certainly effective against something like an overshield where not only does it temporarily deny it, but if someone wants to push through it, they lose their entire overshield. So it would really never make sense to push through a pulse grenade unless it was a dire situation.
Yeah, very smart player right there. Royal 2 goes down. Enable's got the Magnum on the top screen. Picks up the beam rifle now.
They only need 3 more kills. We're going to see this game close out pretty quick, and that's going to be game 1 from Status Quo. So really dominant play from them. Not really surprising, though. Players that were really on top of the world in Halo Reach.
Enable just hanging out at the bottom, waiting for someone to come by. Heff doesn't even see him. He puts a shot in the back. He's down to no shields.
And Enable, nice job there, knowing exactly where that player was going, but he does get taken out by a grenade that player is able to poop out. Now we have 1 more kill left. Ogre 1 might get taken down as Enable jetpacks across, and Flamesword going to try to clean that kill up. Does it right there, and that's going to be game 1. Status Quo takes game 1 over Immunity.
Enable coming in with 12 kills, Flamesword with 19.
Now as we can pull up some stats from that game, I think they'll be pretty easy to understand and read. Nothing too shocking in these statistics board here, as we have Flamesword going 19 and 12, and on the other side we have Voltage going 7 and